Ladies and gentlemen, I am Abhishek Singh and I'm joining you from the sidelines of HTLS 2024, the Hindustan Times Leadership Summit. And I am joined by Mr. Balbir Singh Dhillon. He is, of course, Audi's India head. Thank you for taking the time and, of course, visiting us here at HTLS. Thank you so much. Firstly, what's your experience been like since you have come in here?
Well, first of all, I'm really excited to be here today and really happy that we could participate. We could join hands today for this summit. And, from the morning, I have attended all the speeches that have happened, all the conversations that have happened, simply inspired, starting with our Prime Minister, leading from the front. It has been really, really good journey. I've gone through all that, what you have displayed for last 100 years of ST's journey. I think a lot of inspirations to take, a lot of learnings to take. And when you meet like-minded people, it's always with every conversation you take something back, and it helps you in your personal life, it helps you in your professional life, and you're just moving forward. There's so much of positivity that you bring in these kind of events, which makes the professional like us happier, and we take these learnings back home and back to our offices, back to our boardrooms, and where the decisions are taken. And there's so much of positivity around that. We always feel that our future is brighter, stronger, happier, and we must be part of it. And we take all this positivity along with us to our headquarters also. And coincidentally, I'm flying tonight to my headquarters, so all this positivity that I'm taking from here, it also goes along with me to my headquarters. So India is the shining star, and that's what it is. And I'm really happy and excited once again to be part of this.
Right. And let's, in fact, the very last point that you mentioned, that India is the shining star. Let's, talk about Audi's plans for India. So if you can sort of give us a little glimpse of what the year has been like for Audi, and going forward, of course, we will talk about the future plans, etc. at a later stage. But just to begin with.
Well, in last few years, I would say I'll just stretch it a little bit. Post-pandemic, I think the luxury segment where we belong has been growing and growing strongly. Audi also has been playing its part, and we are bringing the latest products from our global portfolio for our customers, be it electric cars, be it ICE engines. So, all of these cars are available for all our customers who are very well traveled abroad, very well traveled and very well exposed to all the information that is available. So our job is to bring everything which is available as much as we can, because there are always limitations, and we can talk about it later on. But has been a good year so far. Of course, there were a couple of challenges in the beginning of the year, supply chain challenges, which still continue to play in the global arena, I would say. So to that extent, there have been some supply issues that we had in some part of the year. But I think things carry on, life goes on. You face the challenges. That's why you have the professionals who work on these challenges. So it's been a good year. We've had a couple of launches. We are about to launch another good car, which you also see today here.
Right.
So we're very excited.
Yeah, the car's right outside. It's beautiful, of course. Having said that, one thing which I want to talk to you about right in the very beginning, I'm not sure to what extent you have the liberty to comment on it. But having said that, I'll still ask you the question. That is, of course, about Audi's F1 plans. If you can throw some light on that, what's been happening on that front, and how far has Audi come when it comes to F1?
Well, you already mentioned that I'm not allowed to speak.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So,
but whatever my knowledge is, it's primarily from the public domain. So yes, we are going to be joining this fantastic race from 2026. And what I can tell you is, our dealer partners, our customers, the young customers that we meet, they're all so excited whenever this topic comes. Even as young people, I was actually, to be honest, surprised. My 15 years old daughter, I didn't know that she's a fan of Formula Ones, and one day she comes to me and saying that, Dad, I got to know that Audi is going to participate. How can I also have a look at one of such races? So that was for the first time I got to know that my daughter, who is 15, is interested in F1. So this is the kind of excitement that we have. Like, 40% of the cars that we sell to customers whose age is less than 40. So these are those customers, and of course fans like me from the past. I think it's very, very exciting for us that we're going to join it. More than that, I can't share. To be honest, also, I don't know. There is a limited information in the public, but we are very excited about it because what it brings is enthusiasm, excitement, and also takes us to the next level of technology. And that's what we are. Washburn Dodge Technique is what our ethos are, and that the Formula One takes to the next level.
Right, right. And talking about next level of technology, EV, the electric vehicles, the electric cars that Audi has launched and has in India already. When it comes to, the electric cars, what have you noticed, especially after pandemic, in terms of adoption, etc.? What has your observation been?
Well, I'll give a little longish answer. So
Sure.
excuse me for that. We were one of the first brands to launch EVs in India, one of the first ones. Not only just one car, we launched 4 cars, and we were the first one to also bring in electric sports cars. So we have 6 models that are on sale in India today. Fantastic enthusiasm that we got from our customers. But this, EV adoption has also brought in a lot of learnings for us, because for the first time we are experiencing this new technology on the road. So I think in general, the feeling that it has given to us is you have the initial phase where the enthusiasts, the first set of buyers who are always very excited, they come. Then you reach the fence sitters who are difficult to convince. And once you cross that hurdle, then you reach a place where then it is a mass adoption. I think we've crossed the first stage. Now we are in the stage where we're convincing the fence sitters to buy these cars. They will buy these cars primarily keeping in mind the experience of the first buyers, and also how the technology is developing. We started with, let's say, about 400 kilometers mileage kilometers in one full charge. Now we've reached 600 kilometers. Is 700 good enough, or we need 900 or 600 is good enough? So all these learnings, SUVs, sedans, what are the initial challenges? How do we repair the car? So all of these learnings we are going through. Charging infrastructure, what is the role of an OEM in setting up charging infrastructure? So all of these learnings are going through this, and we are very excited. Globally, that Audi already has said that by 2033 we'll be kind of all electric car company. So we are moving in that direction, moving very strongly. As of now, the cars that we are selling in India are mostly, or let's say all of them, are imported. Maybe at some point in time we will also make them in India. So that changes the price positioning. We are right now addressing a very limited segment in India. So I think these are all evolving things. But I can say that there are 4 pillars of strength that EVs, if they have to become successful, they need to be looked upon. One is very clearly the customers. The first one is the top of the pyramid is customers, the ones who are adopting this technology. They are investing into this technology by buying these cars. The second is OEMs like us to develop new technologies, to develop new cars and bring them to the masses. The third is the government. Very, very strong, because wherever in globally, if you see in European countries where EVs have become successful, they have been on the back of very strong support from the government, be it support to the end user or supporting the infrastructure. So I think this is very, very critical, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We've just crossed 2-3 years of electric mobility. We need support for 8-10 years more till the time we reach 30, 40, 50% electric mobility. Then government can take a back step, and then industry goes forward. And the fourth and the important one is the charging infrastructure company. So I think combination of all 4 of these verticals will help electric mobility go next level. So I think these have been our learnings, and we're continuing to pursue our journey and run this marathon in this country. And also, last but not the least, being a global brand, we can only bring in the cars which have been globally launched. So all the OEMs globally are also making newer and newer electric cars, and the more they are made, and some of them also make to India. So we will also widen our portfolio, be available at different price points that will give us a strength of reaching a wider range of potential buyers. So that is the journey that we are treading right now.
Right. A lot to unpack there. There's several points that you touched upon. Now, let me try to get you to elaborate on some of those key points. And the first point would be, of course, the resistance that you talked about in terms of adoption. I mean, why fence sitters are still fence sitters? Because as far as climate change is concerned, awareness is not an issue now. People are aware that, yes, climate change is a problem. So where is this resistance coming from?
Well, like you said, there is a lot of awareness about the climate change. And this awareness is also being brought in by not just the ones who are buying, but also their families, their younger kids. So, when we speak to our customers, some of our customers have told us that the boy or the girls, the daughters or the sons have almost pushed me to buy an electric car. So, so the knowledge or let's say the enthusiasm or is also coming from the younger generation. Like I said, the first adoption has happened. Now the fence sitters are, their adoption depends upon also what has been the experience. There are many open questions which our customers or customers who will buy electric car are: what could be the resale value of the car? What will happen to my battery? If I have to travel within the city, there is no problem. What if I have to travel longer, intercity travel? Can I go into A city to B and come back with a full charge? What if I go to a charging station? Will it be, uh, will there be a charging gun on or off? What is the queue I have to wait there for? Or how much time will it take for me to charge? So all of this, and all of these problems we as OEMs and or everybody else, the government, everybody, and the charging infra companies also trying to solve. Just to give you one small example, when we started to sell these cars, we made a My Audi app, uh, which had a capability to show you wherever the charges are. Over a period of time, when our customers gave us feedback that yes, I can see where the charges are, but if I go to the charges were not working. So how do I find a solution? So our next step was, is it possible for us with the technology to give that information also to the customer that this, yes, there is a charger, but it's also working. So we integrated also charge point operators, and we put SIMs there if the chargers are working. So we are evolving. So I think there will be stumbling blocks, but we have to overcome them. We can't lose faith. That's very, very critical. So we continue to push, continue to motivate ourselves, also the potential buyers, the government, all the stakeholders, that this is the way to go. And our energy dependence is largely outside. We are importing so much of oil. Going forward, I think if we are able to adopt this, it'll help everybody. So that is what my take on this is.
Right. And you were also talking about the fact that for EV, wherever EVs have been successful, especially in Europe, government support has been a key element. Yeah. So when it comes to that, what are you seeing in India?
Well, I'm seeing very, very progressive steps. That especially when I talk about the luxury space, the GST is between 48 to 50% on the cars, but for electric cars it is 5%. Of course, it is still not helping to a very large extent because as of now the cost of cars are still high. The technology is expensive. The battery, as an automotive manufacturers, it was our strength. Engines were our strength. The transmissions were our strength. Now this strength is also moving here and there because now we have motors, now we have batteries. So the dependency on external world is high. That also means, the costs are high. The economies of scales have not yet reached. Till the time that happens, the economy of scale doesn't happen. We need that support. So that is the first level of support, which is directly going to end consumer because cars are reasonable.
Right.
Then you also had support from or have support from many state government where registration costs are very, very low or negligible. Of course, some of the states have taken it back, but I still would suggest that, till the time we reach 20, 30, 40, 50% adoption, we still need that kind of a support. The next support is also on the charging infrastructure. So let's say in India, we have 75,000 or 80,000 fuel stations. We barely have, let's say, about 10,000 chargers. And what we actually need is high-speed chargers, not just chargers, right? High-speed chargers where you go, charge it up for 10 minutes, 15 minutes and move on on your journey. Right. So I think these are all of the benefits that are there. There's some income tax benefit when you take a loan for an EV. There are many organizations that are also encouraging their employees through their car policies to buy EVs. So I think government's direction itself is first and foremost, because when we get a direction from the government that they want to push this technology for India, we get to plan for long term, because especially for us, the planning cycles are very long. We need to understand what will happen in this country in next 5 to 10 years. And that's why it is important for us to know the long-term direction. So I think from directions point of view and action point of view, so far we've got good support. My only request would be to continue to support this industry for at least 30, 40, 50% penetration. And from there on, the industry will be on its own.
Right. And what I also wanted to understand from you was Audi's approach when it comes to sustainability. So if you could shed some light on that aspect.
Well, the very first decision by our organization, by our group for Audi, was that if you're going towards fully being a fully electric car company, that's one decision that already talks about the sustainability. The next step is, wherever there are production facilities, for an example, our Ingolstadt plant where the electric cars are made is the third plant which is carbon neutral. And even the cars that we make in our plant in Aurangabad, we completely use green energy. So from end to end, many of our dealerships where we are operational are also using green energy. They have solar panels where they're trying to use as much electricity as possible, which is renewable. So our idea is end-to-end solution, electric mobility, but how the cars are made, how the cars are disposed of, how to get rid of the batteries, the unused battery, the old batteries, all of this end-to-end supply chain. We look at carbon neutrality. Our group has focused, Audi is focusing that, but 2050 want to be focusing completely on zero carbon footprint. So all of this from end to end is completely focused on sustainable usage of energy, so that we are contributing to the society in a positive way.
Right. And before I let you go, of course, if you can throw some light on what are Audi's India specific plans. So if you can talk to us about whether it's related to EV or it's about, by any other aspect for that matter, if you can throw some light on that.
Well, till a few years back, our focus for Audi in India was push ICE engines. So we were operating in diesel technology, petrol technology. But from 1st April 2020, we decided that we will move away from diesel technology. We'll focus on petrol and electric. From that day onwards, our focus has been electric. We have sold good number of electric cars, but like I said, we are present only in a limited segment. Going forward, we will present ourselves in different segments. So that is going to be our strategy. Bring as many latest products as possible from our global supply chain that make sense for India. Some of them will remain imported, some of them will be made in India. But largely our dependency is, let's say, almost close to 85-90% of the cars that we sell in India are made or assembled in India. So our focus remains as much as we can make in India and then sell to our customers, because that's how we are able to widen our scope of selling cars. But I think in a long term, we want to be a sustainable business, sustainable from energy point of view, sustainable from a profitability point of view, sustainable for our dealer network, investors point of view. And what we are chasing is customer centricity, the best in customer centricity and a positive and a sustainable business in India, and bring all the latest possible products that we have in our global portfolio for our customers in India.
No, that's something very exciting, and that's a great note to end the interview on. So thank you so much for taking out the time, Mr. Dhillon, and thank you for talking to us.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.